A devastating wildfire in Hawaii on the island of Maui, and excessive heat warnings everywhere in the southern United States. Let's discuss. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another coffee rant with Dano. At this rate, I may need to start drinking decaf. Guys, things are happening. Things are happening. Mother Nature is upset. And I'll tell you what, it is devastating for a lot of people right now. Welcome back. We have a donut store brand coffee that we are drinking tonight from Aldi, the Barissimo Donut Store coffee. You have to hit pause on this video to get your coffee ready or your favorite beverage. Hit pause now and do so. This is going to be a little bit of a lengthy video. We have a lot to talk about. So, just to dive into it here, first off, let me say that our thoughts and prayers are with everybody in Maui right now. It is a devastating situation. Over 250 buildings, some things dating back from the 1700s that have been devastated by wildfires. Apparently, this has been because a lot of it has been because of a Hurricane Dora, which was south of Hawaii. It didn't actually hit Hawaii, but the wind gusts from that hurricane were 145 to 170 miles an hour. Steady gusts on the island of Maui, from what we understand, was 67 mile an hour gusts. Dry vegetation, dry grass, lack of rain in Hawaii apparently is what kind of fueled this. But I'll tell you what, if you look it up, it's a sad thing, guys. A lot of people, over 55 people have passed now, and that's the count. 1,000 still missing, they're saying. It is just, it's a scary situation. People running and jumping in the ocean to get away from the fire. It is just absolutely terrible. Again, our thoughts and prayers go out to you. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe down below. We do these breaking events for you every day, as to where mostly our channel is to help save you as much money in the grocery stores with inflation, with rising costs and prices on food every day. We try to keep you in the know of everything to try and help you and us save as much money as we can in a world where it's getting harder and harder to do that. Every day I go to the grocery store to do different videos in different stores all over. We do Walmart, Aldi, Kroger. We try to go over different Kroger-owned stores when we can, because we can compare a lot of those around the country and around the world. Guys, it's been a week of crazy stuff. From Yellow Freight closing its stores, over 32,000 employees total being fired, from different food plants closing, like four of them with Tyson through Indiana, Missouri, and Arkansas, and then we have the other Missouri 35 hog farms from Smithfield closing down. Guys, we are in a cyclone of events right now that is absolutely scary. It really is. I mean, we are dealing with these events on an everyday basis now. And I know I've been putting out a lot of these lately because I feel it's important that we know these things, so that we know in relative with the grocery stores and shopping that make sure we're keeping up on these things to help save us money to buy food, to stock up on food, to prep, whatever you like to call it, to have some extra. And this is very visibly important down in some of our southern states right now. And I don't want to go into any other kind of speculation of what's going on in Hawaii, because everything that I've seen, I feel like numbers just keep coming in. And most people know on this channel, I don't like to talk too much about things until we know all the different things. Right, that every news network is saying, they keep raising the death toll and all that. It's like, it's not, I've always looked at it as, it's not good to put a number on souls, at least until you have a count of that, because there are families out there who are looking for their family, and I just feel like that was the last I read was 55 have passed, but 1,000 still missing. So we're going to leave it at that. Again, our thoughts and prayers are with everybody in Maui right now. It's a crazy ongoing situation. We may deliver updates as they come. But for now, I would like to discuss, we have a lot of viewers in Texas, Louisiana, Florida, all of these states that are affected with these excessive heat warnings. And I feel it's very important to talk about this because it just keeps getting hotter and hotter and hotter. I have friends that live in Florida that they're telling me they have to stay indoors. They can't go outside. They're melting, right? Walmarts that are out of water. Out of water. That's why we always talk about being prepared on the channel, because when things like this happen, when these kind of events happen, we never know. We never know when it's going to happen. But if you're prepared a little bit, then you won't worry as much when they do happen. Now, I know a lot of Floridians are always prepared for hurricanes, right? You prepare for that because it's a lifestyle down there. You have to prepare. Chances are, if you live in Florida, you're going to get hit with a hurricane every now and then. And the same goes for Texas and Louisiana. I just have friends that live in Florida that I hear a lot about. We have a lot of viewers from Texas, and we've been getting a lot of comments from Texas too of the heat so bad that you can't be outside for more than like 10 minutes. And I don't, living in Cincinnati here, I'm not one, I don't even know how I would prepare for that. Right? Let us know down in the comments if you live in some of these states, some of the states that are experiencing some of these excessive heat warnings. I know we have some viewers in Arizona. Arizona's been like 150,000 degrees for like the last couple months. I remember I picked my mom up at the airport, Cincinnati airport, like, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and I know they had a record amount of days at like 110. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Like 110 degrees. I can't even imagine that. I can't even, that temperature does not even compute for me. Now, me and Jessica do go frequently to Florida. We have family in Florida. We visit them, and we usually go around September. So it is usually still pretty hot in Florida. So I do know, when we're in Orlando in my opinion, that's the hottest place I've ever been. I've been to California. I've been to Arizona. It's a dry heat out there. You do have to be careful. When I was in Los Angeles, I got badly sunburned because I wasn't used to that kind of dry heat, right? I'm outside. We're on the beach, and I didn't even put any suntan lotion on. I was like, this feels great. And sure enough, like my neck and back and everything was purple because I wasn't paying attention. I was young and dumb. But at the same time, I wasn't used to not having the humidity, because the humidity to me is what makes it where you just can't breathe outside. Like we'll be in Florida. Now, when me and Jessica, when we travel, we're doing things in Florida. One thing we always do, and this may help somebody, especially in this excessive heat, so keep this in the back of your mind. I don't know how helpful it might be, but if you have a freezer and you got bottles of water, throw some water in the freezer. And if you're going out for the day, what we would take like those gallon Ziploc bags and then fill them up with water. It's going to be heavy in a backpack, but it'll feel good on your back because it'll slowly be melting on your back all day. And you'll be able to drink the water because it's going to be ice cold for one. And in a way, and this is something I've always thought about, is it kind of keeps me from drinking too much water too quick. They always say too, not to just kill a bottle of water. You know what I mean? Because that could actually be worse for you. And then if you have it as ice, it times it out throughout the day. And I'm basing this on going through different Orlando theme parks and stuff. It's like after an hour, a good third of it's melted. So, but anyway, I know it's different for a lot different if you live in these areas too. I'm not taking away from that. So the important thing is, one, you have to stay hydrated. And I feel kind of silly telling people this who live in southern states, but we always hear tens of thousands of people who die every year from heat exhaustion and heat strokes. So it's like, if I'm reaching out to someone, maybe if you're watching this right now, if your power goes out, we've heard some power go out because of different, lots of people running their air conditioning constantly. If the energy system can't handle it and it shuts down, what are you going to do? I have a couple thoughts on that. Go sit at McDonald's for a few hours. Do what you can to stay out of the heat. Anything you can. Make sure your gas tank is full all the time. Make sure you fill it up at night when most people ain't there. It's cool outside. Always wait till that sun goes down. But I'll tell you what. I was reading a story, so the other day, it was 86 degrees at night in Texas. I think it was Houston. think it was Dallas or Houston. I think it was Houston. But it was 86 degrees at night. Can you imagine that? Here in Cincinnati, Ohio, the highest I think it's ever been at night is like 70, maybe 71 degrees. Usually cooler than that. But 86 with humidity? Oh, boy, that's rough. That's rough. I mean, I know in Florida, like it could be 85 degrees at the highest point of the day, like noon, 1, 2 o'clock, and it'll feel like 180 degrees outside, at least to me. I'm not used to that kind of weather. But yeah, we have to make sure that we're getting to places, make sure that you're getting inside. And, you know, even if you don't feel hot right away, it can really catch up to you. It can really catch up to you. I'm going to tell you a little story here, okay? The hottest day that I've ever been to Florida, me and Jessica were at Magic Kingdom at Disney World. Okay, and we were waiting to ride Pirates of the Caribbean. Waiting inside the ride, like in the area, in the queue to ride Pirates of the Caribbean. Somebody had passed out from a heat stroke. And we had gone into like the air conditioning area. Person was probably outside. I don't know, but they had to come in. They brought the ambulance in, and I'll tell you what. Now the next thing was the scary thing. Okay, so we go to Splash Mountain, which is a water ride at Disney World, which they were waiting in that line. Okay, and part of that line is outside. We hear that little ambulance again. And it's coming over. Someone else had a heat stroke waiting in line at the next ride that we went to. Somebody had a heat stroke right in front of us. And we were like, you know what? That's it. It ain't worth it. We're out of here. We're out of here. We went and sat inside this place and got a bunch of air conditioning. We were like, we're not going to stand out in this. We'll just wait, hang out in the AC until it starts to get dark. And then we'll just do whatever we can and call it a day, right? Because at that was the sign. It was like, ooh, okay, yeah, if you're not thinking right, if you're not keeping hydrated and all this stuff, that can happen to you very quickly. And this wasn't that late in the day. This was like 11, maybe 12 o'clock. So that's how fast it can happen. So just wanted to throw that little story out there. So, you know, if you're thinking, well, I can make it, you know, I always think that too. Oh, I'll be fine. You know, but no, you see something like that happen, especially twice in a row, right after you get off one ride and right to the next. I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, we got to get inside. No more rides. It's too hot, too hot. And I got to say, they were pretty good. They had bottles of water. They were pretty good with that. You can tell they were ready for it. But this is something we have to pay attention to, guys. Like I said, I know we have thousands of viewers in the southern states here. Thousands. You know, and if you're listening, just make sure you're paying attention. Make sure that you're paying attention to your if you don't feel thirsty, drink a little bit of water anyway. Like I said, don't kill a bottle of water because that can be dangerous too if you're really hot. Or cold water. You know, they say that if you're really hot, don't drink a ton of cold water all at once. Now, I say that, but I feel like I do that all the time. So take that for what you will. But I've heard that if you do that, that can throw your body in shock. So you want to be careful. If you're out in the heat all day, you definitely want to be careful and just, you know, do what you know your body needs, right? Usually if you're dehydrated, you really know it ahead of time, but you might be focused on something else. But guys, I'll tell you what, when I was looking at the weather report thing on the news, on the weather app that I have, I'm looking at the map and it's like Arizona, Texas, Louisiana, Florida, all in the purple. All in the purple. That means excessive heat warning. I don't think we've ever had an excessive heat warning up here. I've always seen the ones in the orange where it's like weather advisory or heat advisory, right? That's the one that usually covers the entire nation. I've never seen them in the purple before. So we need to be careful. We need to pay attention to that. And I'm telling you, I'm saying all this to all of our viewers who live in those states or areas that this affects you, because this is very important. We need to make sure that we're staying safe. Call your family, call your friends, people that, if you think about that one guy that's like always working outside, maybe he works construction. If you have a daughter or son who works construction or is outside all day long, keep in touch with them. Make sure that they're okay. Make sure that they're safe. Or check on your parents. If you got that ornery dad that's out there mowing the grass and he's like, I don't care how hot it is, it's not going to stop me from doing this. Well, you can mow the grass at night or something. Don't be out there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, sweating like crazy. So like Florida too. See, that's the thing. See, I think in Florida, it's easier to know that, okay, I'm almost in trouble. I have to go inside. I have to get some water, because you feel it. You feel it. I think like states, a lot of places that have a lot of dry weather, dry heat, it's harder to realize. It's harder to focus on like, hey, I have to stop here for a second. It's like you almost have to just like look at your watch or look at your phone and look at the time. Like, okay, it's been another half hour. I need more water. Because you may not know it. If you live there, you might. But I know if I was out in Arizona, it might be hard for someone like me. We have more humidity here in Cincinnati than you do in Arizona. I mean, you walk outside here, it's a little touch of what Florida's like. Nothing like Florida, don't get me wrong. But we do have a lot of humidity here in Cincinnati. And all throughout Ohio. It's like the East Coast part, like strip from Florida. It's kind of strange how that works. Like we're right on 75, Highway 75, which directly goes straight down to Florida. So I've always just kind of figured, well, from here and a few hundred miles west of here, it's probably nothing but humidity. But I'll tell you what, guys. This whole week has just been a slew of crazy events going on, and I felt like when I saw this, I thought of everyone on the channel here that follows us that lives in these areas. And I did want to talk about Maui a little bit, but again, not going too deep into that until we know all the facts. Okay, that event happened Tuesday. There was an emergency declaration on Wednesday for Maui and that. But again, from what I'm reading and all that stuff, there's not enough information about everything that I can deem completely factual. Like I said, when we just keep seeing numbers rise and things, let's wait till we have all the numbers, wait till all the families have found their friends and families, and then we can discuss what happened to a lot of different things, or maybe how we can prevent these things in the future. But for the most part, yeah, our thoughts and prayers with everybody in the South, too, in the southern states here. I mean, it's crazy. I know there's going to be a lot of people out there that don't pay attention, that think that they can just keep going. Don't be that person that just doesn't think about it, especially if you're in areas of like dry heat. A lot of dry heat, like I said, your brain could forget about it. You might not realize, like, well, it's 110 out here. Yeah, it's hot, but I'm okay. I'm not sweating, right? That's the biggest thing you notice in a dry heat area. You don't really sweat. I couldn't believe it. When I was out in California, it was like 90 degrees, and I'm not sweating at all. I couldn't believe it. I sweat when it's 75 out here, but it's the humidity. It's the humidity, I feel, makes you, it drains it out of you. And I feel like you feel thirsty more quickly because the humidity is making you sweat it out, right? So I feel like you do have to actually drink more. But with the dry heat and all that stuff, don't let it fool you. You still need to stay hydrated. You need to make sure that you're out of that sun. If you have to, do whatever you can. Do whatever you have to. Get in the shade. If your power's out, like I said, keep your gas tank full. Keep your gas tank full so that you can get somewhere. Go walk around Home Depot. Like, I mean, I used to exercise at Home Depot. I would just walk around and smell all the fresh cut wood and all that stuff and just look at things. Probably spent too much money. But just walk around Home Depot. People do it all day long. It's like what people used to do at the mall. You know how when malls were popular 100 years ago and people would walk around the mall all the time? That's what people do at Home Depot now, and Lowe's, and Menards. So, and you got free air conditioning, and if you're one of them people that, feel like, well, okay, if I've stayed in your establishment here for a while or something, yeah, buy something to drink, spend $1 or $2. That way you can say, well, no, I bought something. and yeah, nobody's saying you have to, but that's just how I am. Like, if I'm going in somewhere and I'm going to stay there for a while, I'll buy something, I used to buy a pop, and I don't drink pop anymore. So, buy a water or something, if you're feeling a little hangry, buy a Snicker bar, I've been there. But just stay safe, guys. Stay safe, stay prepped, stay, You know, keep following the channel here for savings at the grocery stores. I can't stress that enough. I know we got a lot of new viewers here. If you're new to this video today, make sure you subscribe down below. The main focus on this channel is always to save you money. Always save money and bring these events to light and talk about them. So, you know, maybe if we talk about them, maybe we'll prevent some of these things, bad things, from happening in the future. As far as price increases at the grocery store, that ain't going to stop. They're just going to keep going up. All we can do is save where we can. So make sure you're subscribed so that I can be the boots on the ground that you need inside the stores to help save you as much money as we can, and save money for us at the same time. Also, make sure you leave your comments down below of all the events that we've talked to in this video. If this heat advisory is affecting you, let us know down in the comments how you prepare for some of this. Like, are you prepared? Like, if your power goes out and you have to sit in 86 degrees at night, do you have fans? Like, that's the first thought that would come to my mind is I'd have these battery operated fans everywhere. Jessica has battery operated fans. When we do go to Florida, they go around your neck. Now, those are charged through a USB, so you want to make sure that you have a kind that you can plug like one of those like battery cell packs into. Those things are great. You can order them off Amazon. I will say the little bit more money you spend on those things seem to be better. I bought one for like $12, and that thing lasted me maybe a year. I was using it to charge up my batteries for my camera when I was out doing videos, and it just eventually drained and died. I don't even think they sell that one anymore. It was called the Jackery, right? It was nice, but eventually it just hold less and less of a charge. Now we have like one of these brick ones where it can hold multiple charges. It takes a long time to charge this thing, so you want to make sure that these are always charged. But that thing has lasted me years now, and you can charge up your phone, your fan. Usually a fan battery doesn't take too long to charge either, but especially if you're in these excessive heat warning areas, you want to make sure that you are getting these things. Buy them off Amazon. Buy them right now. Buy them right now. Boy, I wish I had an affiliate link. You guys could go right to it and probably, yeah, I'll have to work out something like that someday. But anyway, no, I don't care about that. Get on Amazon, buy you one of these fans, buy you one of those electric blocks, power charger, power supply kit. And those are great to have. But again, let me know down in the comments what you think of all this and how you prepare for these excessive heat warnings. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope it helps. Our thoughts and prayers go to everyone in Maui right now. It is absolutely devastating. If you haven't seen or heard about it, there are videos all over YouTube, and there are posts all over Google and the news everywhere. And it's devastating. It's devastating. It's very. I don't even know what to say. I feel so bad for everybody. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Stay safe. Stay prepped. With all that being said, I am out. And always remember, the adventure is out there.